Hi, this is Jilly Bling. How are you? This is my second project using the bundle Wintry Treetops. So this is today's project. Compared to many of the others, a little bit simple. And the first project is right here. Kind of regal. So if you buy the bundle through me, I'll send you the card kits for free. And this is the second one. It's using Winterly Treetops, Peaceful Season, and it's the bundle for both of them. Wintry Trees, Peaceful Season dies, and deckled circle dies for this circle right here. Okay. And I just have a little linen thread on the inside. So we'll be using gold texture adhesive back dots. And these are in the new mini catalog. And if you'd like to get the bundle and the card kits for free, if you can, use this host code. And it's on page 31. And the bundle number is 164066. Here's the papers. We'll be using timber embossing folder, dotted circles embossing folder, and this lovely paper which I seem to use every time, which is Country Woods designer paper. Okay. So it's kind of, compared to many of the others, it's kind of an easy card. So let's just take these two papers. This is Pecan Pie and Basic Beige. And we'll use the Christmas dies. Oh, here, hold on. I have it ready to roll. So the beige is in the Boulder Christmas stamp or die. I'll take that out. Christmas. And then this one in the Pecan Pie, I left it in there purposely so I don't lose the little dot. But there's that. Ooh, the dot remained. That's convenient. Get this out. My pokey tool. I always keep it nearby and handy. And when you're taking this piece out, if you can, try not to stretch it. You're like, stretch it? How can you stretch paper? If you were pulling it out here and pulling off to the side, you would distort it just a little bit. But when you do that, it makes it hard to get it to layer right back on top of here. So since we have this rolling, let's do this. So I'm going to do just like the first few letters of it only. I'm trying to do thin glue because I don't want the glue squirting out all over and making a mess. And I'm doing just the first half of it only because see how I could still hold on to it and get it layered like the C. Look at the C, get it right in the middle of everything. Move on to the H, get it centered. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but if you get it at least close, that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna let that dry. I might do the dot. And then I'll go back and I'll do the rest of it after it dries. And we'll do a little bit of coloring here in just a minute. Okay, so where is that ice? Oh, you know what I could do? I could set it right on top of here. That's another way to keep it kind of straight too. It's kind of like a rounded triangle. Okay, did that dry enough? Can I do the rest of it? So at this point, I'm just going to kind of fold it over and put glue on, thin glue, the high points and the low points. That'll do. And then just try to get lined up with the basic beige underneath here. Well, I guess if I line up the S, the rest should just fall in line. That looks good. Okay, there it is. I was thinking of doing this in shimmery paper, but then I thought, oh, that might be distracting to the cute little natural bird. Okay, and I'll put all the paper cut sizes on my blog and in the video description. Video description will be below, and here is my blog. So basic beige paper cut in half. Fold that in half. Sometimes the paper gets little pieces in it, but I will just conveniently put the next layer over the top, because that's embedded in the paper. It just happens. It's the nature of paper. Okay, these are inside pieces. This is for stamping the two bows on and the bird. So this piece here, which is just going to be layered on the top, I'm going to texture it with the timber embossing folder. Here's that little texture on it, and I can attach that. Because it's textured, I like to use the glue, because it gets in all the little corners and cracks. Right there. Okay. Get it stuck down all the way around. Okay, let's see. How about this piece of cherry cobbler paper? This I'm going to texture using the dotted, that big embossing folder. This one right here, dotted circles. And when I place it in here, see how I have my little marks of where to place it, but I just want it off to the side because that's where the circle is going to go. And I want the circle somewhat centered in the rounded circle dots. So see how it's way over here off to the side? Just somewhere there about. Okay, so I'm not going to attach this yet because I want to wrap a piece of linen thread around it. And this is for the die cut deckled circle. So I'll cut that out. Okay. So to do the stamping using Memento, I'll do 2 of these. That came out good. And trying to leave enough room for the bird. It's probably not that hard. Good. Now the bird, oh, there's plenty of room for the bird carrying the berries. He's bringing his friend some berries, saying, hey, look what I have for you. Okay. And conveniently, there's dies for these. So I'm going to cut these out. And this one I have colored. This one I have half colored. And the bird is not colored yet, just to save a little time. Isn't that pretty? And the bird. So let's finish, let's color them. So when trying to do the bird, sometimes it's good just to pull out colors you think might work. And I think the crumb cake is similar or very close to basic beige, but I wanted the bird to be a little bit more golden, but not yellow. Because the first one, I made him kind of yellow-orange. So this one I wanted to be a little bit more natural color. So this is wild wheat. And then I was thinking the pecan pie, so it would match with the words. So I did the tree trunk in pecan pie. And a little bit of the deep shadowing under the wild wheat. So if ever you're not sure how is it going to look, just give a try to colors you think might work, and all of a sudden you'll know what to do. Just like that. Okay, so for the bird, let's do pecan pie for this little branch he's on. More pecan pie. So we had a busy day today. I say we, but it's more. Because Tony, he's back to work full time. He is being a bus driver half of the day and groundskeeper, just like back in the day. 8 hours a day, every day. So today, we had the, I'll do the shadows on the bird in just a minute. Remember how the other day I said, I think there's a leak. And sure enough, had the plumbers come out, they fixed the leak. Well, today was the day, well, I shouldn't just say it like that. We kept, they said, yeah, we need to come back and take out all that wet insulation and the vapor barrier. Like, oh, okay. And they weren't doing it. And we just had a really hot weekend, a long weekend. And I'm like, I don't think it's doing too good under there all on its own. And I started to notice just a hint of a little bit of a smell. I'm like, you need to call. He says, it's a holiday. Monday is a holiday. Labor Day. Anyhow, so he called Tuesday. So they came out this morning at 8 a.m. So there's people crawling underneath the house, a guy on the outside, laying on his side, talking to the guy through the vent thing, taking insulation in and out. And then finally they said, you know what? There is an area that I don't think it ever had insulation. Do you want us to get that? And I'm like, yeah. Oop, here's Bo. Hold on. It's hot out there, dog. Anyhow, so got that done. Okay, that's good. And then, oh, I forgot his little wing over here. Then, Bo was so funny. He was catching a bug. Now he went scurrying off into the other room. I'm like, what is he doing over there? And then, okay, crumb cake for the rest. Now I'm all distracted. At 11 today, So they got done at 10:15 and I still hadn't showered because they got here at 8. At 11, the guy to clean the carpets came. And I like having the carpets cleaned. It's been a while. We had one guy and he I don't know what he was doing. Anyhow, got a new one and he came. So he was here for an hour and a half. So now all the furniture is not touching any carpet for, he said 3 or 4 hours. And I said, I'll just wait till tomorrow. He goes, that would be good. He goes, and keep the fans on. And so we're going to turn the air conditioning on. And he said, well, that's good because that will dry out the air. Okay, so it's just been a busy day. But getting all these things done is very nice. Okay, so now I'm thinking on the bird, I'm going to give him a little bit of a white tummy. And right there is going to be the white tummy. And the rest of it is going to be colored. Color this all in. I wonder what Bo's doing in the other room because he can't be on the carpet because it's kind of damp. But he hasn't reappeared yet. Bo? My crumb cake light is probably a new one. Kind of took away all the crumb cake dark shadows. Okay, so now that I have a spot for the white tummy, I'm going to use the blending color lifter and just go on the seam right here. Well, it's good to do this while the one color is still wet. Then you don't have to concentrate on blending too much, which is always nice. Bo? Bed. Lay in your bed. He thinks I called him because someone is here. Because it's been a revolving door today. Okay. Bed. Bed. You're a good boy. Okay, so to do the cherries, first I'm going to do the branch in Pecan Pie Dark. It's really thin. And then the cherries. So the cherries, let me show you. First I did the cherries in Cherry Dark, and then Cherry Light, blended it in. Okay, so that's a big cherry, but it's like, that looks good, and it looks red, but I want it to be a little bit brighter. So instead of Cherry Light, I used Poppy Light, and that made it a bit brighter. So let me show you the difference. Sometimes you just have to play with these colors. I'm thinking Poppy Light. That's going to be kind of orange-like, but it works perfect as a highlight. So look at the difference. Good. Cherry Light gets put away. Okay, so Cherry Dark at the bottom of each of the berries. I'll do it on the branch in just a minute. And then fill in the rest of it with Poppy Light. So because Tony's been going back to work and he leaves the house at like 6:20, and I always like to say goodbye before he goes, so I get up at 6:15. And I knew that I got up at 6:20 or 6:30 every day, but I don't know what it is with getting up just a little bit earlier. It's like I need a nap every day. So I've been doing a nap every day. Just woke up from one. It's like, it's got me good. Okay, so when I was coloring these two different ones, one of them's going to go on top, like this one right here. Then this one we're going to cut up and have it go, most of it, some of it, here on the bottom. And when I had just these two, well here, let me show you. Pretend like this is colored. So this will go over here. This will go down here. Christmas will go right over here. Okay, you're like, yeah, it's coming together. And then the bird will go right here. But every time I came around the corner, I looked at it, it's like, it kind of looks like an X. So I tried shifting things a little bit and it just didn't work. So I thought it needs to be not so symmetrical. So notice how the berries, which are really cute, they're all cut off. So I cut them off and I just did these little bits of greenery down here. I'm like, oh, I'm going to put those berries somewhere. And they ended up here and I love how that turned out. So I say all of that because these berries here have the shadow on the bottom of them. These berries have the shadow on the bottom. The green has the shadow, darker color on the bottom and the lighter color on the top. The same with these. So I'm trying to make these two different exact same boughs somewhat directional. So we're doing berries. Let's do berries. Cherry, dark. Ooh, I got the other tip. It's in good shape, so that's okay. Cherry, dark. And then Poppy Light. Isn't that cute? Cute berries. I pulled out the new gems that have berries on them. I was thinking, oh, this is a card, I need to use these. But it just didn't work out. I have them sitting right over here. See these? Aren't they cute? It's like they're the right size berries. cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive backed berries. So they work. They're the right size and all. They're going to be used on something else, so they could shine and make a statement. Okay, so some of the greens. So Mossy Meadow, I did the Mossy Meadow on here in dark. I'm going to do it in light. That light? Yeah. I have 3 different color greens on here. Are you like, that's excessive? You don't need to do that. I know, but it looks good. So we're down at the bottom. Is olive dark? Olive dark. Olive dark. Okay, now when I put the olive light on, it's going to brighten it up. Just a little bit over the seam to blend it. Fill it in. Then over the seam. Fill it in. Okay. Then you get little, this other gardening, waiting for the dew to arrive. And I was cutting off these little, you know how you're supposed to deadhead flowers and stuff. And I kept on getting the liquid from the flower on me, and I knew it was going to do that. It's all over. So this is Pecan Pie Light. Just those 2. And the rest is Granny Apple. It's kind of bright, but it looks kind of good. So I'm just going to do from the stem or the branch down about halfway with the dark, and then the rest of it with light. And when you're coloring this in, right underneath this leaf right here, there's like a little line. It's like, I don't know what does that mean? What's that to? I don't think it's just a bigger than average leaf. I don't know what it is. Some of you that have this, or when you get it, if you figure it out, let me know. And when you're coloring, you'll go, oh, that's what you're talking about. And it's on both of them. I was thinking, oh, maybe that's going like to a berry, but there's not a berry over there. Then I'm going to fill in the rest with Granny Apple Light. And I'm not taking time to blend the connection point between the granny apple light and dark. If it's real obvious and it's on a big leaf, okay, but otherwise, yeah. Okay, so that's done. So now this one, we're going to take this bunch and these poking up little branches of, oop, I missed a spot, of granny apple. And this is the plan, is to get this piece here out of this one. So I want the berries, the olive leaves, and these little granny apple sprigs. And I'm going to keep the rest for the front of the card. So Bo is already having nightmares. He comes in, lays down, and he's already in deep sleep. Sometimes I wonder, why does he have so many nightmares? He's got a cush life. Hear him? I asked the vet about that. I said, why does he have so many nightmares? He says it's not all nightmares. It's just activities in the life of a dog. Okay. So here's a piece for the inside. And I'm going to trim it up because at this point it looks a little rough. Not very consistent. And it's going to be white on white, so you probably won't be able to tell if I didn't do this, but I know. This part here is looking pretty good. Why do I feel the need to trim it? I don't know. So while the guy was in here cleaning the carpets, he had this 2 hoses that came through the front door, so the front door had to stay open, and we've got a fly in the house. It makes Bo crazy because he thinks he has to catch it. He has to get it. So he's prancing all over, jumping up, trying to catch it. He didn't get it. I just heard it. Almost done with this piece. And then the 2 pieces for the front, they don't need to be trimmed up much because everywhere that they were cut is going to be hiding underneath the words we just made, the Christmas words. Okay, here we are. Okay, let's get to building this. So this is going to go on right about there. And that will go on with dimensionals. I love this paper. I have like 5 packs of it. And there isn't, like, I like a lot of sheets and I'm like, oh, that one's my favorite. But then I end up using other sheets and it's like, oh, that's my favorite. Boy, how am I going to use these other ones? There's no problem using these sheets. I'm going to have it with the wood grain up and down. Right about there. So it is hanging over my cherry cobbler paper a little bit, and it's not perfectly centered in the circles, but close enough. Now I'm going to wrap around my linen thread twice and tie a knot. So I want the knot to go right about here. So 1, 2, leave enough to tie a knot. And if ever you're tying a knot and you don't get it tight enough, when you put dimensionals or glue on the back, you can kind of fix that. So I know the knot is going to need to come closer to the edge because the words Christmas are going to fit right here. And they're kind of long. They take up most of the paper, the cherry cobbler paper. Okay, so that's good. I would stick it down, but until I have the words here, I'm not going to stick it down. Okay, so next is our branches. This one is going to go right about here. So for now, I'll put some glue on the back of Christmas and then get the first part placed. And Christmas is way off to the side. I want to see the berries, so I'll put it right about there. And when I hold this up, you'll go, well, that's not very centered. See down there? It's all off to the right side. Now, these little pieces are going to be tucked under here. So I'll put more glue on the back of Christmas and get those pieces added. I was coloring pumpkins on that paper. So this one could go here. That's inside. That one started to trim it and didn't finish. And this one can go right there. When you start playing with it, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's where it needs to go. That's all that's to it. Then this will go down there. Kind of looks like a butterfly. I might move those around a little bit. Make them maybe a little bit closer. Well, butterfly is what it will be. Okay, so this is going to be stuck onto the circle. And I'm going to stick it on with glue and then put dimensionals on the tips. So it's kind of two-toned, two layer. It's a dual layer. A little crooked. Right about there. Okay, it's sticking. There's that linen thread under there, so it's kind of not wanting to stick too much. I'll do some dimensionals. There, now it'll stick. Okay, so now the bird is going to go on. So the bird, I'll put glue on the branch. And then I'll put, kind of tuck him in. Just like that. Kind of lock him in place with the dimensionals. Okay, so that is pretty well done. This I might raise it up a little. Because if I took the time to put the linen thread on, I want it to be seen. Maybe I could take this upper piece and put it down below. And there we go. Oh, that looks better. So now the knot is on the top. I could see kind of twisting there, but in the bird's world, that's how things happen. Okay, so this can now be stuck on with glue, the cherry cobbler paper on with glue. But looking at the edge of the card, I'm going to have it over just a little bit, maybe a little higher. This one I put on, and those, I think they'll fit in the envelope just fine, but I kind of wish the whole thing was raised up. Right about there. Okay, I'll give the glue just a second to kind of start setting, and then I'll push it down again. But in the meantime, I know I was a little skimpy putting this on with dimensionals, so this is time to fix that. The word Christmas, the C needs a partial. Partial dimensional. Mini. This tail can get glue. Oh, and on the sample one, I cut so he had, that made me think of a joke there. He had, you could see the wood grain in between his 2 feet. I'll tell you the joke here in just a minute. Not really a joke, but just a comment. There was this girl on, I think it was Pinterest, and she says, you know, it's pretty bad when you look at your dog and you're jealous of his thigh gap. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And then I got it. The bird has thigh gap. This bird doesn't. Okay, so no bad comments just because I said that. You know, it's the things that are on social media. It is what it is. Okay, bling. Bling is good. So I'm going to do 3 bling. I'll do 1 medium. Right about... See, it looks really different when it's on the cherry cobbler. Right about here. And small bling. And another small bling. Bling, bling. Okay, so the outside is done. So the inside just needs a greeting and our cute little leaf berry with a hint of linen thread. Hoping Christmas, hoping the season is bright and beautiful. I like that. I'm not so sure I'm ready to do holidays yet, but I have a few times, so I guess it can't be too bad. Oh, pretty. Okay, so this is going to get lots of dimensionals. And then linen thread. And you know, in this product suite is the Natural Tones linen thread, which comes in Pecan Pie, Night and Navy, and Garden. I think those are the colors. And I think I use linen thread on just about every project. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but at least on half of them. Probably realistically more like 3/4. And the other products like the jute twine stuff, that's okay. But I really like how thin the linen thread is. And now they have that. I'm going to be buying lots of it. Okay, so around twice and cut it off. And I'm keeping some of these kind of crazy ends because that's what birds do. They do crazy end pieces like that. Take it when it's round, make it into a figure 8, and plop it in your dimensionals. And you're like, well, what if it isn't perfectly swooshed around? At this point, oh, my shadows are here, which is good because I want these figure 8 loops to be smaller than these, and these are a little bigger. But at this point, if you don't like how it flows, how it lays, because it just went on there exactly how it wants to, you can kind of move stuff around in your dimensionals. I want this crazy loose one a little bit more obvious. There, that's good. So that's going to go on here. I'm going to do it up a little bit higher than I normally would, like right there. And let's see how it's sticking down. This is pretty good. On the sample one, it just kept on kind of popping up, so I had to put some half dimensionals under, but this one is behaving. Okay. Just a cute little touch on the inside. Isn't that cute? It's kind of simple, but very cute. And it would have been covered up by the words Christmas. So that is it for today's project. Let me know if you have any questions or any questions about Avid Stampers. I'll put all of the details about Avid Stampers in the blog post and also in the video description. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.